When I walked into my company's office that morning and saw my cousin Jake wearing the uniform of my brand, I swear my heart stopped for a second. The same cousin who once called my dream a joke was now clocking in under my payroll. The company he mocked now paid his rent. As he handed me a folder, his face turned pale. "Bella, you're the CEO," he whispered. I just smiled and said, "Didn't you once say this would never work?" He couldn't even look me in the eye. The same man, who laughed at me in front of the entire family barbecue, now had my logo embroidered on his chest. But trust me, it didn't start this way. Back then, I was just the broke cousin with a wild idea, the one everyone rolled their eyes at. And Jake? Oh, he made sure I never forgot it. He humiliated me, insulted me, and even tried to ruin my startup before it began. So yeah, watching him sweep the warehouse floor of my multimillion-dollar company felt poetic. But revenge wasn't easy. It took years of pain, betrayal, and sleepless nights to get here. You want to know how I got from the family joke to the boss everyone fears? Let's rewind. My name's Bella. I'm 27 now, but this story started when I was just 21, broke, scared, and desperate for a way out of my small Ohio town. My family wasn't rich. Dad worked long shifts at a garage, Mom cleaned houses, and I was the quiet one who always had her head in the clouds. While my cousins went off to college or got stable jobs, I was juggling 2 part-time gigs at diners just to keep my car from being repossessed. But I've always had this itch, this fire, to create something of my own. I didn't want to spend my life waiting tables. I wanted to build something that mattered. That's when I came up with the idea, a small handmade candle business that blended personalized scents with messages of self-worth. "Who's going to buy candles from you?" Jake sneered when I told him at a family dinner. "You can't even pay your phone bill." Everyone laughed. Even my aunt whispered, she should just get a real job. But I didn't let it kill me. That humiliation burned like fuel in my chest. I scraped together my savings, just $5,000, and rented a tiny corner stall at a local farmer's market. No one believed in me, not even my parents. Except one person, my best friend, Maya. She looked me in the eye and said, "Bella, they'll regret underestimating you one day." At the time, I laughed it off. But I had no idea how right she'd be. Family gatherings became torture after that. Jake turned my dream into a running joke. "Hey Bella, how's Candle Queen going? Sold any to your imaginary customers yet?" The others would chuckle, passing it off as family teasing. But to me, every word felt like a dagger. It wasn't just teasing, it was sabotage. He posted a picture of my small stall online, captioning it "Entrepreneur Barbie at it again." It went semi-viral in our local Facebook group. I cried that night. It wasn't about the comments. It was about being humiliated by someone I once called family. Still, I showed up the next morning at 6 a.m., setting up candles with trembling hands. Customers trickled in slowly. One kind woman bought 2 candles, smiled, and said, "You've got something special here, honey." That moment kept me going. But Jake wasn't done. At Thanksgiving, he loudly announced, "So, when the candle thing flops, you gonna start a lemonade stand?" I clenched my fists under the table. My father looked embarrassed. My mother whispered, "Let it go, Bella." I didn't. Because that was the moment I decided. I'd rather fail 1,000 times than let Jake be right. So while he bragged about his new office job, I poured wax, tested scents, and stayed up until sunrise. I didn't know it yet, but the tables were already starting to turn. It happened unexpectedly. One afternoon, I got a call from a boutique owner in Columbus. She said, "Hey, I found your candles at the farmer's market. Can you supply a few dozen for our holiday display? I nearly dropped my phone. That one order was more than I'd sold in an entire month. I worked non-stop, melting wax, labeling jars, packing boxes, all from my tiny apartment kitchen. The smell of vanilla and lavender became my life. When those candles sold out in 2 weeks, the boutique placed a second order. Then a third. Suddenly, local influencers started tagging my products. My Instagram went from 200 followers to 10,000 in a month. Jake noticed. He commented on one of my posts, didn't think this was still a thing. Guess I was wrong, lol. Oh, he noticed all right. But behind that fake lol was jealousy, I could feel it. Still, success came with a price. I was running out of supplies and money. My hands were blistered, my sleep non-existent. I needed help. And that's when Jake made his move. He offered to help me with business stuff. Something about the way he said it felt off, but I was desperate. I said yes. Jake came in acting like he knew everything. Bella, you're creative, but you don't get business, he said smugly. Let me handle the marketing. I agreed, stupidly. Within weeks, he convinced me to give him access to my supplier contacts and brand emails. Then one morning, a major client called saying my cousin had offered them a better deal under a different name. My stomach dropped. Jake had started his own candle line, copying my scents, my labels, even my packaging. When I confronted him, he smirked. Business is business, he said. You should have thought bigger. I felt sick. My own cousin had stolen my idea and tried to erase me. He even told the family I'd copied him. For weeks, I sank into depression. Orders slowed down. I thought about quitting. Until one night, Maya came over with takeout and said, "You're not done. You're going to rebuild, better and bigger. You've got something he never will, heart." That night, I rebranded everything, new name, new style, new purpose. Jake thought he'd killed my dream. He just lit a fuse. I launched my new brand, Lunar Flame, handcrafted luxury candles with purpose. I poured my pain into every product. Each candle had a message: you're stronger than they think, keep going, they'll regret doubting you. It wasn't just wax anymore, it was my revenge, bottled up and burning bright. Then came the viral moment. A small TikTok video I posted, just me talking about how I started from being laughed at, exploded overnight. 2 million views. Orders flooded in. I had to hire 2 helpers just to pack boxes. And Jake. He went radio silent. I knew he saw it, he'd always stalk my socials. Within a year, Lunar Flame candles were in 5 boutique stores across the Midwest. Then a major subscription box company reached out. They wanted to feature me in their holiday collection. I cried when I signed that contract. I went from being mocked by my family to sending out my first $50,000 order. That's when my phone buzzed. Jake again. Hey Cause, congrats. Any chance you're hiring? He wrote. I stared at the screen for a full minute before typing, maybe. Send your resume. I'll never forget the day Jake walked into my office. Same arrogance, just hidden under nervous laughter. Wow, Bella, this place is impressive, he said, looking around the rows of shelves, boxes, and busy staff. I leaned back in my chair. It's come a long way from the farmer's market, huh? He nodded, forcing a smile. Yeah, guess you proved me wrong. Oh, I planned to do more than that. He handed me his resume, it was thin. After his business collapsed, he'd been laid off twice. I skimmed it, then looked up. We're hiring for warehouse operations, $15 an hour. It's not glamorous, I said. His face dropped. 15. Seriously? I smiled sweetly. That's what we pay new hires. He hesitated. Then said, I'll take it. That's when it hit me. Revenge doesn't always need fireworks. Sometimes it's quiet. Satisfying. Like watching someone realize they've fallen into the pit they dug for you. A month later, a business magazine published an article titled, From Mockery to Millionaire, the Candle Queen of Ohio. My inbox exploded. So did Jake's phone, apparently. The article featured a photo of me, smiling in front of the very warehouse he now worked in. When the family saw it, my phone blew up. Bella. You're in a magazine. We're so proud. Even my aunt, Jake's mom, called crying. You've done so well, sweetheart. Jake couldn't hide anymore. He showed up to work pale, quiet, humbled. I didn't gloat. I just said, break's over. Let's get back to work. A few weeks later, Jake pulled me aside. Bella, he said softly, I know I was awful to you. I was jealous. You didn't deserve that. For the first time, he looked sincere. I just wanted to be someone. Watching you succeed, it reminded me how much I failed. I didn't say anything for a while. Then I told him, you don't become someone by tearing others down, Jake. You build, even when no one claps. He nodded. I get that now. That day, I realized something. I'd already won. Not just financially, emotionally. Months later, I hosted a family barbecue at my new house. Everyone showed up, including Jake. He helped set up tables, quiet and polite. When my uncle raised a toast, he said, to Bella, who proved that laughter can fuel greatness. Everyone clapped. And Jake? He just smiled and said, she earned every bit of it. For the first time, the mockery was gone. It was replaced with respect. Looking back, I realized revenge wasn't about making Jake suffer. It was about proving to myself that I was worth believing in, even when no one else did. Sometimes, the sweetest revenge is simply becoming everything they said you couldn't be. Jake still works for me. He's actually one of my best employees now. And sometimes, when we pass in the hallway, he laughs and says, guess I picked the right company this time. I just smile. Because deep down, I know, he didn't just work for my company. He worked for my lesson,